Be advised, the opinions and views of the hosts and guests do not reflect those of the station.
You are what you watch. Hello, my name is Harrison Bocho and welcome to our program. Magandang gabi po sa inyo lahat sa mga nagrereklamo na hindi ako nagtatagalog. Susubukan ko managalog, kaya lang hindi kasing galing ang wikang Tagalog sa akin. Pero buwan ng usaping wikang Tagalog, kaya kailangan managalog. Pero intro ko, gawin ko na muna ng English. The topic today is going to be about governance and what exactly about governance. Well, last week we had a very interesting guest, Dr. John Chopi, who I asked to come sit with us again because I was intrigued after reviewing this show of all the many things I learned about exactly the state of, well, the state of terrorism, so to speak. Now, there were many points brought out and all the different elements that bring about terrorism, but interestingly enough, government can likewise be one of those points. Imagine that, terrorism, government. How? Through incompetence, the ill delivery or the poor delivery of services. When there is no justice, when there is delay, for example, no decisions made by the judiciary, or erroneous laws and policies put into place that affect the people, that actually disadvantage the people. Huwag po natin kalimutan, ang gobyerno nandiyan dyan para sa atin, hindi yung baliktaran. They are there to serve us with our requirements, and our role basically is to generate through commerce and activity, with civility, with morality and proper values, we generate money through taxes, of which they are mandated to spend properly and correctly to our benefit, or the majority. Tawag nga dyan, democracy. Somehow I call it democracy. Now, how did we get to this position wherein the current governance, not necessarily Pinoy's government, I'm talking about the culture of governance, or what I call the culture of corruption, not necessarily, well, there are many who actually, with intent, corrupt the system and corrupt themselves into interest for themselves. But there are many who, through incompetence, corrupt the system. For example, a prosecutor who does not give proper resolutions, a judge who will not judge on a case and wait. And what will happen is delay, and more delay creates a new, how do you say it, environment, an opportunity for the other party to get corrupted, to come up to, pare, ayusin mo naman to, para matapos na. You see, we create situations that generate corruption. In the streets, pag sinabi mo kotong kap, hindi lang basta-basta kotong kap yan. Sometimes the drivers, the erring drivers, come and do illegal things and wrong things, and the cop comes around and it generates a situation wherein the cop becomes corrupted. So it's give and take, it's both ways. So we're going to talk in general all about terrorism and governance. Our guest, allow me to reintroduce him. I have to read this kasi mahaba-haba ang credentials itong guest natin. First of all, the national president, he's the national president of the first Philippine Pro-Democracy Foundation. Ang tawag po dyan, Pro-Dem. We have Dr. Rodolfo, nicknamed John Ortiz Chop. He's got multiple doctorate degrees. He's got a PhD in education as well, DSD and a DES, Associate Dean, and the graduate of the Graduate School of University of Manila. He's also a lecturer at the Philippine Public Safety College and former Manila councilor. So yes, he has dabbled in politics. Now, I could go on and on, mahaba-haba ito but nauubos na naman ang show pag sinabi ko, hi, Dr. John, thanks for being here. Buti na lang, libre ka ulit, nakabalik kita ulit sa show. Kasi bitin na bitin ako last week, yung tayong dalawa nag-uusap. Ang dami pa naman yun, akit sa YouTube to. Ang daming nanonood na
Daming nanonood,
nabibitin.
okay.
Nabibitin discussion natin, tsaka ang bilis natin.
Ang bilis,
But okay lang naman yung speed Kasi ang dami din natin tinakil.
Okay, madami.
Ang dami tayong topics. But, John, let's go through governance per se, no? The state of governance, the way it is. What's a quick analysis to
Siguro,
that to start
before
off?
I start natin, siguro I would like to correct yung isang credentials. I'm not a former Manila councilor. I'm a former municipal councilor of San Mateo, Rizal.
Not Manila. I'm sorry, sinabi ko ba Manila? My apologies.
Mga magagalit
San
ang ating
Mateo,
mga taga
Rizal.
San Mateo. Mga taga San Mateo, great morning sa great afternoon sa
Great,
inyo.
yan,
Great evening na pala.
Okay.
Alam mo, when you look at the state of governance in our country right now, first of all, we need to look at what is governance per se. Ano ba yung gobyerno? Sa usapin ng public administration, ang gobyerno ay nilikha para pagsilbihan ang ating mga kababayan. Siguro magtatagalog tayo ngayon dahil nga buwan ng wika.
Sige. Marunong man ako managalog Sige.
Sige. Okay. So, ang gobyerno ay nilikha para pagsilbihan ng tao at ang mga mamamayan. Ang problema nga lang, tila yata nagkaroon ng problema ang pamamahala sa ating bayan na kung saan, imbes na ang gobyerno ang maglingkod sa mamamayan, ay ang gobyerno, ang mga mamamayan ngayon na nagpi-please sa ating gobyerno o pamahalaan. So sa puntong yan, if you would diagnose right now the government and as a doctor of public administration and management, we need to look at certain problems as we diagnose it because specifically when we look at the different agencies in government, tila yata maraming virus sa ating pamahalaan.
Parang, nag-metastasize Hindi lang sa isang departamento, pero sa halos lahat.
Unang-una sa usapin ng paglilingkod sa gobyerno, aking ang nabasa yung iyong usapin ukol sa security of tenure. At nakita ko doon minsan yata may problema yata tayo sa usapin ng security of tenure. Pag ang lahat ng bawat mamamayan ngayon ay gusto na yatang pumasok sa pamahalaan. Pag napasok ka sa pamahalaan, wow, permanente na ako makakapagtrabaho sa pamahalaan. Na kung minsan, ang pagiging permanente ay hindi na nagiging akma para sa tugmang paglilingkod ng bawat lingkod bayan dito sa pamahalaan. Halimbawa, ang isang pulis, karamihan ngayon, nung nakaraang linggo, meron tayong nabalitaan na riot dito sa Napolcom, na kung saan yung mga recruit ng mga nais mag-apply, magpulis, ay nagsiksikan sa Napolcom. Ito yung nag-a-apply pa lamang, pero nagkaroon na ng riot. Kasi
Sila pa.
Sila. Ibig sabihin, lahat ngayon gustong maging pulis. Kasi sa hirap ng trabaho, lahat ngayon gustong pumasok sa pamahalaan. Unlike nung araw, I remember yung sa aking pag-aaral at sa aking nakikita sa mga kasaysayan, nung araw ay onti lamang ang gustong pumasok sa pamahalaan. Kaya ang civil service passing nung araw ay 50%. Ngayon, tinaas sa 80%. Kasi halos lahat ngayon gusto nang pumasok sa pamahalaan o sa ating gobyerno. At ngayon, pagpasok sa gobyerno, minsan ito, nangyayari ito. This is not an urban legend. You might have facts. Sabihin, Doc, may facts ka ba dito? I don't know. We could not prove it because it's just a mere hearsay sometimes ng mga ibang mga pulis at mga ibang mga government employee na pumasok sa kanilang mga departamento. Ang sabi ng iba, yung pulis, bago ako nakapasok na pulis, naglagay muna ako ng 50,000 doon sa nag-recruit sa akin.
My God.
Saan niya babawiin? Yung kanyang...
doon din, siyempre.
Oo. Tapos, sa usaping yan, ang usapin pa ngayon ng pagpasok sa bukasyon sa pamahalaan ay hindi nagiging bukasyon talaga. At hindi nagiging... ang ginagawa na nagiging profession, it becomes employment rather than dedication. Kasi when you go to public service, it must be what? It must be a vocation na ikaw isang lingkod bayan na dapat mong paglingkuran ang ating mga tao. Parang ang isang pulis ngayon, makikita natin napakaraming mga pulis dito sa ating kalye na minsan ito nangyari, professionalism in the ranks of the PNP. Okay, let's go to the professionalism in the ranks. They define professional as what? Pag-graduate ka ng 4 years, professional ka daw. Sa problema ngayon, sa dami ng mga fly-by-night school at mga eskwelahan nagpapagraduate na kung saan yung mga estudyante ay hindi naman talaga nag-aral o kaya nagbutas lamang ng silya ng 4 na taon. Pagdating ng 4 na taon, ay professional na.
Professional na.
Tapos nakapasa ng civil service. May degree na, papasok sa PNP. O kaya BGMP o kaya Bureau of Fire Protection. Pagpasok nila doon, sasabihin pa ganito, merong kriminal na snatcher, tumatakbo ngayon dito sa kalye. Sasabihin ng isang civil engineering graduate na pumasa naman ng board, sasabihin, bakit ko hahabulin yan? Civil engineering graduate ako.
Mali, no? So, hindi na tugma yung advocacy.
No, kaya nga, ito, like in other nations, I've been in Honolulu, I've been sa isang training sa Honolulu Police. Nakita ko doon, ang Police Academy training, napakahirap. Kumbaga, bago ka makatapos ng police training sa Hawaii, marami kang pagdadaanan na antas ng training nila. Kaya nga, ang graduate ng pulis sa kanila, sa atin, di ba, pag graduate, ang mga graduate ay nasa baba ng stage. Sa kanila, nasa stage mismo yung gumagraduate kasi sobrang dami ng recruit. Pagdating sa huli, onti na lamang ang natitira.
Baliktad.
Baliktad. Sa atin, ang dami. Napakadami. At pagdating pa sa aspeto ng politika, palakasan. Malakas ka kay governor, malakas ka kay...
That's the problem. Ako, every time I go to a government agency, there is the culture of procrastination eh. Yung walang ginagawa. Miski land bank.
Land bank,
yeah,
okay,
land
okay.
bank. Miski land bank eh. Yung to service the client is not the issue.
Yeah, okay.
It is not the objective. Parating procrastination. Mamaya na, manyana, whatever, you know, yung, for some reason, there is incompetence. Now, when you look at these people, isipin mo naman, sila naman, they're in government. Wala silang takot kasi hindi sila kaya tanggalin sa trabaho.
Hindi, sasabihin naman ng civil service ngayon, meron naman tayong performance evaluation system eh.
Yeah, but that's only within themselves. They also know each other, they protect each other.
Yeah, lalabas palaging very satisfactory.
Oh, of course. That's what happens now. Most government offices, if not all,
yeah, okay.
I would like to say all, you know, that's why they don't service the people. They terrorize the people with their poor services, their incompetence. So much so that we are now at the mercy of government. When government is there to be for us.
Yeah, okay.
Baliktad eh.
Ang nangyayari nga yan, you look at different government agencies, parang yung usapin dati ng mamamayan muna, bago mamayan na, nagiging, ano na lang, nagiging propaganda at marketing na lamang. Yung katotohanan na hindi naman nangyayari eh. Yung talagang pag nakita mo sa pamahalaan, pag nakita mo yung mga government employees na napapanood natin, sa iba't ibang mga pelikula na kung saan talagang nilalahit ang mga government employees, ito yung simbolo o yung sinasabing, hindi ng simbolo, ito yung nilalabas ng katotohanan base sa pananaw ng mga tao. Kaya yung ba magagalit, bakit ganito yung tingin nila sa mga government employees? Kasi yan ang nararamdaman ng masa, yan ang nakikita ng mga artista, ng mga direktor. So, sa puntong yan, bakit ganito yung nangyayari? Kasi there's a problem within how we look at the civil service per se. For example, ang usapin ngayon ng pag-promote sa usapin ng division chief. Nung mga 1998, kasi yung masters nung araw, di pa uso yan. Pag sinabi yung masters noon, you are somebody. When you're a doctorate, you're a somebody. O naalala ko nun, pag nakikita ko yung isang PhD, talagang taas ang tingin ko.
Ngayon, ganda na, 4 PhD mo.
Yeah.
Ay, ingat. Sige.
Okay lang yun, kasi, kaya ginawa ko 4, kasi nakaya pag isa.
Sige.
Yeah, kasi noon, pag nakita mo yung mga PhDs, napakagaling. Ngayon, you look at, ito realidad to nangyayari sa mga gobyerno. Yung isa dyan, kung saan lamang nakuha yung kanyang, kung saan mga titulo, at yung iba, mga masters so and so, maglalagay ngayon ng mga sulat-sulat, lalagay sa huli, MPA, PhD, so and so. Pagtas makikita mo yung pagkakasulat ng kanyang construction, ng kanyang ng letter o sulat, mali-mali.
Wala na, sabog na, halata na.
It's more of a documented stupidity.
Yeah. There are people like that. I have to admit. Ako, I get frustrated because I have to deal with many government agencies, especially in the provinces, wherein dapat yan standard yung basics. You know, may standards. Ang problema, the people who working in government, many of them, maybe it's wrong to say incompetent, or maybe they become too complacent because they know that they have security of tenure. There is no more system of merit. So in other words, why will I do my best? Why will I even do my job?
Yeah, you meant...
Diba? Why even do it?
Okay.
Hindi naman ako kahit tanggalin itong gago nito. And then, whoever comes in there naman, appointed by the president normally, or by the office of the president, papasok siya, yung mga tao don't want change. Because if you have change, masisira yung mga oportunidad nila o yung mga modus operandi nila. And what they do is, tirahin natin itong bagong hepe natin, sulatan natin, gawa natin ng white paper.
Yeah, uso yan.
And then, usong-uso yan eh. So, they hold the new guy, the new leader who was appointed no less by the current administration, and he becomes inutil because he's at the mercy of the staffers.
Yeah,
diba?
okay.
And the staffers naman, and siya naman titignan niya, my God, these people are all useless. Walang ginagawa.
Yeah,
Diba? And hindi niya naman ma-terminate because by law, under civil service law, hindi naman pwede tanggalin mga yan. So what happens? They all crumble. The problem there is, I don't really care that they mess up their fortunes, their life, their profession. The problem is, they are serving us. And when we're not being serviced properly, there is terrorism right there because we are now at their mercy. Yun ang tingin ko dyan.
Kaya nga, yung puntong yan, sinasabi mo yung konsepto ng merito. Kasi ang problema, pag napasok ka sa pamahalaan, nagiging prangkisa. Yung pwesto eh. It becomes a franchise. Permanente na ako dito habang buhay na. Kaya lahat gusto pumasok sa pamahalaan eh. Kasi
yun ang problema.
Ang problema ngayon, alam mo, nagiging problema din yan sa value setup ng isang Pilipino na kung saan kontento na ako. Pasok na ako sa pamahalaan, permanente na ako. Pag permanente na ako, pag retirement ko, may pension na ako. So we do not strive for more para umangat pa ng umangat. Ang problema ngayon, nagiging alipin tayo ngayon ng sistema. At pagiging alipin ng sistema, ito na, tanggapin na natin ito which is wrong. Kailangan sa isang progresibong bansa, makikita natin ang bawat Pilipino at ang bawat mamamayan ay hindi lamang kontento sa isang bagay na kung saan, kung kumain siya ng 3 beses ang araw, kumita siya ng ganitong sweldo, nandun na siya. Kailangan umangat pa ng umangat, mag-level up tayo. Ang problem minsan sa atin ay, palibhasa, gusto natin, we need to survive only. Kailangan nating mabuhay, kumain. Ang punto rito ay, sana, sabi nga, sa usapin ng negosyo, entrepreneurship at pagpapaunlad ng ating bayan, hindi ka lamang dapat makontento dun sa sweldo mo. Kasi what we need is production. Kaya ang bayan natin ay hindi umuunlad dahilan sa karamihan ng mentalidad ng ating bayan, mga kababayan natin, magtrabaho. Pagka-graduate ng college, gusto magtrabaho. At karamihan sa kanila, gustong pumasok sa gobyerno.
Alam mo, may saying, sinasabi nila, yung crab mentality.
Yeah,
That's very popular among Filipinos. Do you know, I started analyzing and looking into in the private sector. I don't see it in the private sector. The crab mentality exists because of the people that work in government. Because there is no merit, it's not merit-based. These people become so complacent that what happens is sila, they hold each other down, they claw each other down, and there is no real system of them trying to improve themselves. Basta, go to work, don't even go to work, go to work and sleep, and then you're nakatingin ka lang doon, pero learn the profession of going to work, opening your eyes, pero tulog ka. That's government for you.
Kaya nga, that's the problem most of the division chief and government expert took up Masters of Public Administration. Simple in management. What are the functions of management? Planning, organizing, directing,
yes,
staffing,
that's what it is.
Communication. Communication. The word stopping pattern, putting the right person at the right job.
Correct.
But it is not happening. You do not put the right person at the right job. It's more of what? Bata-bata system. Kung sino yung malakas, sino yung mauupo, kung sino yung kontento ka. Even the planning process, o kumbaga, most of the rules of the management science right now is being violated in terms of governance. Sabi nga natin dati, it's a problem on values Kumbaga, inuuno na yung pangsariling interest bago yung interest ng organisasyon at ang interest ng bayan. Ito, sabi mo kanina, crab mentality. Nasabi mo yung hinigihilahan pababa. Isa lamang ang punto dyan If you are a professional, the main thing that you need to do is just to follow your job description. Ang problema sa ating bayan, marami sa ating mga tao na nagtatrabaho ang hindi sumusunod sa ating mga job description.
Isa pa yun.
Pag sinabi mong ikaw ay isang pulis, manghuli ka ng mga kriminal.
Sasabihin ng iba, hindi. Inhinero ko pero nandun siya sa pulis kayo.
Ayun, okay. Hindi mo trabaho ang mangurakot. Pag ikaw naman ay isang ordinary government employee na kung saan ikaw nasa LTO at ano pa mga agency, may nakita kang problema sa iyong kaopisina, it is not your problem. Hindi mo problema ang chismis at punahin ang kapwa mo at kanyang buhay kasi ang trabaho mo maging clerk, ang trabaho mo maging staff, ang trabaho mo maging driver. Ang problema pati buhay ng iyong mga kaopisina ay yung pinupuntahan. Kasi sa job description, what is your job description specifically? If it's a fireman, suppress fire. If it's a policeman, prevent crime. If it's a jail management and penology.
Ideally.
Yeah, ang problema, we deviate from our job description. Even sa mga senador, kung mga senador lamang ay papalo sa kanilang job description, napakaganda ng ating bayan. Di ba?
Okay, we're gonna have to break on that note. I'll take it from that note. Ladies and gentlemen, when we come back, we're gonna have to take a short break, exactly where Dr. John left off, and that's going to be on the Senate. And what I mean by the Senate is what's breaking news every day this week, which is the Senate investigations. Yung pinapanood ba natin, productive ba yan? I mean, is it going somewhere? Is it meant to go somewhere? What do they mean by in aid of legislation? What is all this brouhaha and in the media, all the breaking news that we keep seeing? But no one goes to jail. Diba? How long now? Are the elections on? Are we already in the season of elections? Ang pagkaalam ko, wala pa, di ba? Pero parang ganun lumalabas. Stay with us. We'll be right back and we'll bring you more about governance and our analysis. Now, what we're doing is not just poo-pooing on everybody else, no? I guess many of you there in the audience know what we're talking about is, you all understand, because it's all around us. But, you know, we require critical thought, you know, to bring things together. Maybe that's why the fault is us. We are too complacent. Just like the poor governance we're getting, we have become like them. Sometimes it's required of us to be able to understand it so we can do something about it. So stay with us. We'll be right back. Hello, my name is Harry Tambuachi. You're back with us in the second episode. We have Dr. John Chope. He always says it's Chope. I read it as Tope. Hi, Dr. John. Let's go straight to the issue where we left off before we took a break. In aid of legislation, tama ba yan? Dahil nakikita natin araw-araw, narinig ko sa radyo eh.
Tama yun, in aid of legislation. Usually, if you like to come up with the legislation, you need to conduct investigation. But the end of the legislation should be a enabling law or an enabling bill na gusto mong palabasin o magawa. Napakarami na ng mga investigasyon na nangyari sa Senado. We have the CTE, we have yung mga Hello Garci, napakarami na. Ang tanong sa kasalukuyan,
Kay General Carlos Garcia, di ba?
Kay Carlos Garcia, even the AFP funds,
The Euro Generals.
The Euro Generals. Ang tanong ano ba yung legislasyon na nagawa na ng mga senador na ito? Ang problema is that we always look at, kasi the role of the Senate is to look at solutions. That is, in aid of what? The legislation. Kung merong korupsyon na nangyayari sa pamahalaan, kung merong problema sa pagbili ng helicopter, baka yata meron tayong problema sa procurement system. Baka meron tayong problema sa PNP, base doon sa investigasyon. Kung nagkaroon ng problema sa CTE, ano ba yung mga problema noon? Maari sa DOTC. So, it is more of diagnosis on the Senate. Inaalam yung bawat isa based doon sa investigation. Pero sa kasalukuyan at hanggang sa ngayon ay wala pa akong nababalitaan na naipasang mga batas to address the problem of these things. Ang nangyayari kasi, sa bawat investigasyon na nangyayari, ito'y natitelevise at ito'y napag-uusapan karamihan ng mga kababayan, ang sumisikat lamang yung mga tanong ng tanong sa Senado, yung mga salita ng salita. Ang nangyayari ngayon, we are using the Senate investigation in aid of re-election. Ang nangyayari. So, sa puntong yan, sabi nga minsan bakit pa natin kailangan i-televise? Ang tanong, may napakulong na ba? Sabihin, totoo, Dr. John, walang mapapakulong yan because that's the Senate. We need to bring that to the Supreme Court.
Hindi naman sila korte.
Hindi naman sila korte. Pero, what are the laws na nagawa na base dito sa mga investigasyon na nasagawa ng Senado at even itong sa House of Representatives? And this would be another problem. Sa ating aspeto ng demokrasya, dalawa yung house natin yung upper house and the lower house, the bigger chamber and the smaller chamber. Pag nagpasa ngayon ng batas dito sa taas at meron pa sa baba. Kaya powerful yung the third house na tinatawag, hindi bicameral conference committee.
Correct. But I don't understand, why are we made to bear all these teleserias when we know, you and I talk about it openly, casually. Obviously, a lot more people know about it, na this is all a teleseria. And yet, why is it allowed to perpetuate? Bakit? Why? It's still on TV this morning. It was still on radio again. Why? Because we're stupid? Is the Filipino so stupid we fall into the same trap that media keeps putting out and the senators keep playing up and they're the teleserye actors and the same silly questions coming in and out. Kinuha mo ba ito o hindi? I mean, when they really can't prove anything and it's just going around the circle, I mean, are we, the Filipinos, so stupid, so gullible that we accept all this crap?
Actually,
diba?
you need to blame the media for the promotion of such stupidity.
But it's the people listening. If you don't tune in, malalaman nila, wag na yan, hindi gusto ng mga taong
Hindi,
bayan.
ang punto, why televise it on a national TV?
So, ang fault ba ng media o fault ng viewer-listener?
Actually, it's more of a marketing game eh. Kasi, syempre, this is more marketable, sabihin sa media. Panoorin natin to. Kasi meron kang market na nanonood. Ang problem lang dito ay yung sapin ng pagde-deliberate at pag-aanalisa sa mga programa at sa mga hearing na ito sa balita. The problem right now is specifically, the news today is history tomorrow.
Correct.
Okay. The concept or the point of studying history is more of analysis and not memorization. Pag napanood natin ang isang teleseryeng yan na nangyayari sa mga television, ay minsan hindi na natin naaanalisa ang mga nangyayari.
We take truth as it presented.
Oh, parang pagdating ngayon sa nangyayari dito sa Senate investigation, ay guilty, ganun ang sasabihin. Wala nang pag-aanalisa kasi base doon sa mga pagtatanong. Kumbaga it becomes a trial by publicity. Ganun ang nangyayari.
But do the senators think, and the owners of media and the operators of media, do they think that the Filipino is stupid? Do they think their viewers, their audience is stupid?
No.
Are they correct? Are we stupid?
No, they wouldn't think that the Filipinos are stupid and the viewers are stupid. It just happened that they like to deliver the message. They like to deliver the information, the news. But the problem is the recipient per se, the people. So, it goes back again to education. Sana naman pagdating dito sa mga tao, tinuruan ngayon yung mga nanonood. Kasi don't blame the media so much. Kasi sabihin na, I mentioned kanina, the media is contributory. Yes, it's contributory. But again, you go back to education. Pagdating ngayon sa mga paaralan, pagdating dito sa mga kalye, pagdating dito sa mga barabarangay, dapat pinag-uusapan critically kung ano yung mga issue.
Oo eh.
Hindi yung husgahan mo kagad na sila ay ganito, sila ay ganyan. So, dapat may pag-aanalisa. Ang problema, pag napanood natin sa TV, pag napanood natin yung mga investigasyon na ito, at pag napanood natin ng mga news, wala na. Kumbaga, guilty ka na at ito na nangyayari. So, it's more of what? Impression, not perception anymore. Pagdating ngayon dito, ito na, natatandaan ko. Pag sinabi mong si Mike Arroyo ay bumili ng helicopter at nagnakaw, si Gloria ay magnanakaw, pasok agad sa ulo ng tao na bakit ba naging magnanakaw? Bakit ba nagnakaw?
Hindi na inisip.
Ano ba yung issue? Ano yung nangyari? Ano ba yung pros and cons na puntong ito? So, hindi tayo ganun eh. Kumbaga, itong totoo sa ating bayan. Meron tayong isang grupo na kung saan ay talagang napakalaki. Pag ito naging party list, mananalo to. Ang tawag dito, chismis.
Tama ka dyan. Nabigla mo ako doon. Sige.
Totoong samahan ng mga intrigero, sumbongera, madadal, insecure at sip-sip. Chismis. So, napakalaki niyan. Pag pinag-uusap-usapan yan, wala nang pag-aanalisa dahil nagiging human factor na yung chismisan ng chismisan.
Talking about party list, very quickly, I keep forgetting. I'd like you to tell me more about PRODEM. This group that you have, Philippine Pro-Democracy Foundation. Kasi nabanggit mo tuloy party list. Ito dapat maging party list. Ano itong Pro-Democracy Foundation?
The Pro-Democracy Foundation is a group which is advocating for a genuine sustainable development. We are looking at also an alternative ideology. That's the main thing.
Is there any other ideology available over democracy that is fair for the majority? Because that's really the formula of democracy.
Kasi if you would speak of ideology, so you would speak of technicalities pertaining to democracy and ideology. Simple lang naman eh. Kasi sa usapin ng progresibo, responsable at organisadong demokrasya, ano lang ang pagbabago? Nasa puso ng bawat Pilipino. You need not read Marxism and you need not...
How do you identify that? Kung ano nasa puso ng bawat Pilipino, paano mo ma-identify ano yun?
Ang bawat...
Kasi ang values natin, sabog na. Ang morality natin has, jumped out of the frying pan into the fire. Di ba?
Kasi ang bawat Pilipino ay nagnanais ng kapayapaan at ang bawat Pilipino ay nagnanais ng progreso. Sino bang ayaw ng isang progresibong bansa, responsableng lider at organisadong pamahalaan? Di ba? yun ang nais natin para magkaisa tayo at magkaroon ng development sa ating bayan. So gusto natin lahat yan. Ang problema lang, ayaw niyong hukayin sa inyong mga kaisipan. Ayaw makuha. Kasi ang nauuna, sarili muna bago ang bayan.
Yun, sarili muna. Ganun na nangyayari sa Amerika ngayon. Mind you, yung partisanship nila sa politics. Pero ang talo, yung taong bayan. Nagagalit ngayon yung taong bayan, binabalikan ngayon yung mga politiko. Sa atin, bakit ayaw nila unahin kung ano nasa loob ng kanilang... Ba't ayaw nila unahin ang bayan? Bakit sarili?
Kasi nangyari na, naging kulturan na nga. You mentioned governance, you mentioned the system management. Government and the society becomes a jungle. Everybody's an animal. There are predators in the society. You need to kill just to survive. Ibig sabihin, not the actual killing. You need to step on other people just to be on top. You go to the organization just to step on somebody's employee. Kung sino man kasama mo dyan, mananapa ka, maninira ka just to be promoted in the corporate ladder. Ganun ang nangyayari. Even sa pamilya, nangyayari din yan. Mga
brothers and sisters, mga siblings. Sila rin eh.
Sila. Kumbaga, it's more of survival. Dahilan nga sa problema ng ating bayan, lahat ngayon gustong umangat. Kasi sa limited na oportunidad, onti lamang ang, kumbaga sa trip to Jerusalem, onti lamang ang silya. Mag-agawan tayo. Ganun nangyayari. So kung marami sanang oportunidad, wala sanang tapakan.
Personal interest always comes in first.
Yeah.
What does Pro-Democracy Foundation do? Regenerate the values?
Part of it is regenerate the values. And also, kasi unang-una tingnan natin yung aspeto ng pagbibigay ng edukasyon sa ating mga kababayan. Dapat malaman muna nila ang pagiging tunay na Pilipino, pagiging totoong tao. Sa aspeto nga, kailangan natin ng edukasyon sa baba. So actually, what Pro-Democracy is doing right now, the First Philippine Pro-Democracy is going to the countrysides and even sa mga squatters area. And we're now teaching them on what is happening in the country.
But aren't our public schools, the education system doing that? Isn't Secretary Armin Luiso supposed to be in charge of that? He's got, what, 170 billion? They're going up to, what, 200 billion or 210 billion in this new budget. We're going for 1.8 trillion. Isn't he in charge of that, or is that money going nowhere? Because I don't see the education system improving.
That's the problem. Kasi when we look at the curriculum right now, if you compare it to China, alam mo ang nangyayari ngayon. In China, pagdating sa usapin ng edukasyon, napakataas ng kanilang curriculum. Ang P6 at chemistry, tinuturo sa grade 5. Sa atin, tinuturo sa high school. They start from the preschool, nandun na yung
inaasan nila yung
inaangkat nila. Sa atin, parang dadagdagan mo pa lang ng 2 years kagad ng ating education. Yung K-12, umaangal na para sa atin din lamang. So, minsan politika ang sumisira sa usapin ng edukasyon at even korupsyon sa edukasyon. Ang mga libro minsan na hindi dapat mai-publish, kung saan yung mga supplier na kanilang mga kakilala, ito yung nangyari na talaga sa DepEd, nakikita natin. So, habang ang kultura ng korupsyon ay nandyan sa ating bayan, ay hindi natin ma-attain ng isang progresibong bansa.
How can we take out corruption if it's part of us already today? Ako naaawa ako kay President Noynoy, no? How is he going to straighten out the country and the people where everybody is corrupt?
The problem, President Noynoy has the willingness to cleanse the system. But as long as there is the KKK, the kabarilan, kapasoen, so yun ang problema. Hindi rin pwede.
And then you have the chismis party.
The chismis party,
Hindi pwede, no?
Yeah,
So, oh my God. Let's go to another topic quickly before we maubusan na naman tayong oras. We know Senator Zubiri resigned about a week, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Anong base mo? We briefly touched on that last week. And your points of view, tama ba ginawa niya?
Kasi titignan mo, to people that would look at it, that is an act of statesmanship.
That's what Enrile said.
Ito sabihin ko sa iyo, no? Sa usapin ng statesmanship and problema sa ating batas, maraming loopholes ang ating konstitusyon. In the U.S. Constitution, it is properly stated once the President would resign, they would file the resignation to the Secretary of State. Sa ating konstitusyon, hindi malinaw yan kung kanina magka-file. Kaya nga sabi ni Enrile, after the privilege speech and the resignation, I would refer your privilege speech and resignation to the Senate Electoral Tribunal. Next, ganito.
Tama yun.
Next, ganito. Sa usapin ngayon ng mga protesta, ano ngayon ang epekto nito bilang senador ni Zubiri nung 2004 hanggang 2011 na ngayon, di ba? 2007, 4 years na yan.
Correct.
Ibig sabihin, nagkaroon ba tayo ng isang bogus na senador from 2007 to 2011?
The answer is yes. Parang ganon, bogus na senador. Hindi dapat umupo.
May sweldo, PDAP,
Nakuha niya na.
nakuha niya na
oo.
lahat. Ba't hindi niya ibalik to kay Pimentel? Nakinabang na siya eh. Siguro
Kung
yun.
200 million a year, 4 years, di 800 million na, 0.8 of a billion. Plus yung sweldo niya, plus every committee hearing na
Pero
yun.
every committee hearing, that's
That's
injustice.
$500,000 each.
Kasi
500,000, 500 million, di ba?
Napaka-silent ng batas sa atin yan. Kumbaga, ex-senator pa rin ang tawag sa kanya. Pero in reality, may dayaan na sinasabi o kung ano pa man nangyari doon o sa bilangan. Sabi nga, it's a numbers game. Sabi ni
So what's wrong? It's the system.
there are,
Even his resignation is incorrect.
yeah, there's so many loopholes within the law. Ang problema minsan kasi, minsan yung mga abogado, alam mo, they tend to make the law, medyo yata may mga butas. Kasi pag walang butas ang batas, wala sigurong silbi ang abogado eh.
So it's the fault of the systems as well.
Yeah, it's a fault of the system. Oh.
So may hihina ang mga abogado natin. And yet,
Hindi, magagaling ang abogado natin.
so pinaglaruan ng playing field is the Philippine law system.
Yeah, there may loopholes sa law. Pag ang batas ay perfecto, ano pang silbi ng abogado?
Good point, no? So, Subiri, the situation gave birth, just like the Senate investigations, gave birth to other issues that come across. Nabibigla lahat sila.
Bigyan natin ng isang example, yung sa Pasig dati. Yung, I think that was Congressman Carino, isang araw na lang.
Isang
yan.
araw siya pumasok, correct. But he still took it. He went there, he took his oath, and then he cannot, that's considered one term.
One term, pero ang punto doon, for 3 years, he was deprived of being congressman. Nakuha na nung kalaban niya, yung tinalo niya supposedly, yung kanilang mga
That's
benepisyo.
another thing. Isipin mo, mag-electoral reform ka, you're going to electoral protest pala. Ang mahal ng binabayad mo, time-consuming na. It's already depressing as it is. And yet, it's amazing how it takes 3 years, sometimes 5 years.
Yeah,
In this case, Zubiri, 4 years before this committee can actually judge and rule on something so seemingly simple.
Yeah.
I don't understand. So, again, procrastination, delay, incompetence is justice denied because it's justice delayed.
Yeah, okay.
So, again, it's a terrorism of sorts towards the people and the mandate that's supposed to have come out.
Okay, you're always mentioning terrorism. Siguro sa mga viewers natin, what is simple terrorism? Sabihin nga natin, dalawa lamang yung word eh. Terror at
Thank you,
ismo.
thank you. Tama yan.
Ismo. Ismo, sistema, terror, violente o panggugulo.
Tama.
Ang aspeto ng mga injustice, bagamat hindi ito violente, katulad ng sinasabi mo, yung terorismo sa pamamahala ng pamahalaan, it would result to violence based on injustice.
Yes.
Yan ang nangyayari. Kasi baka sabihin ng mga viewers natin, ano ba naman yan? Puro terorismo tinitira niya, No, as mentioned palagi na sinasabi natin, hanggat nandyan ang injustice, papasok ang insurgency. Pag pumasok ang insurgency, nandyan ang terorismo. So, ang problema minsan ating tinutukoy at pinag-uusapan, governance. If there would be good governance and people would only look at the proper job description, as I always mention, siguro walang injustice. Parang isang judge. Ang job description ng isang judge ay maghusga ng fair at patas. Hindi mo job description bilang judge ang tumanggap ng lagay para sa ibang partido.
I'd say 99%. Ang mga judges tanggap ng lagay.
Nasan pa ang hustisya sa ating bayan? So, nakakatakot. Pag ikaw ngayon ay walang pera at walang panlagay sa judge, naapi ka, ano mangyari? Ang iba pupunta sa bundok. So, sistema. Sabi, greediness again. So, simple lang eh.
And the actual cause is actually the justice and the system which created the insurgency.
Yeah. You mentioned education. 4 years in college, 2 years in the master's, even 10 to 5 years in the doctorate level. Just 4 years in college. After you graduate, you become professional. Pag professional ka, ano bang aspeto ng pagiging isang professional? Mabait, matino, at alam ang kanyang ginagawa.
Productive member for society.
Productive member of the society. Pero anong nagtrabaho na? Ano nang ginawa? Nawala na yung aspeto ng professionalismo. Tinawag kang professional sa pamamagitan, nagnakaw na.
Yes.
Ganun ang nangyari. So, just a simple term, the concept of professionalism. Everybody would be professional and just do the job description. The teacher in a public school, gawin mo lang magturo ka. Hindi mo galing dapat i-chismis yung kapwa mo o siraan ng mga...
Gumawa ng intriga.
Gumawa ng intriga. So, ganun ang... Yan ang nangyayari sa ating lipunan. Kumbaga, we always deviate from the job description. If only people would just concentrate on our specific job description, napaka-progresibo.
John, is there hope? Can we still do it? Can we not deviate? Can we earn the discipline still?
Yes, we could do it, you know. It depends on the system. It depends on the boss. Alam mo, sabi nga natin, if there would be somebody that would handle the system, that would really promote discipline, siguro ay napakaganda ng ating bayan. Alam mo, limbawa...
The keywords, discipline, ha?
Yeah, the discipline. You do not like to change, I would discipline you. You like to change, I would change you.
So, ganun dapat gawin ni Pinoy. Dapat magmatigas siya. Ayaw mo sumunod sa akin. Dapat ganun.
O, sana nga, sapian si Pinoy ni yung espiritu ni Marcos.
Dapat, no? Ganun dapat. Yung matapang ka.
Matapang ka, oo. You need not please everybody. Kumbaga, being a public servant is not a popularity game, eh. It is more of what? I might be unpopular to some people, pero ang importante, mapaunlad ko yung bayan at slowly by slowly, marirealize na niyo, yung being unpopular would be popular then because mas marami makikinabang.
Correct.
Yung problema, we always play politics, the popularity rating, yung mga punto ng SWS, mga survey. Don't mind the survey. Ang importante, the best survey is what? Yung ating bansa ay umuunlad. Ang bawat Pilipino ay nagkakaroon ng trabaho at nagkakaroon ng pagkain sa pagkainan. Huwag natin intindihin ng numero, statistics lang yan, eh.
Ladies and gentlemen, I guess we do sound like we're complaining, and I get exasperated myself, but I purposely put myself and this show into this situation, in this position, so that I am hoping it will generate or create, critical mass for you, the viewer. It is not enough you sit there and you watch it and you say, yeah, tama, no. The point is, you have to absorb it, and you have to comprehend, and you have to now learn from it, if not act upon it. You see, you have to be a body politic. Some people complaining in media, some people presenting the truth, some people presenting the non-truths, perceptions, and we're also presenting the circus as well. Don't forget, we've got the Senate hearings ongoing as well. While all of this buffet is being presented to you, what happens is we get all mesmerized. The idea is to learn to generate that critical mass among ourselves, to understand properly, with proper analysis, have the proper direction, and hopefully generate that discipline for one singular purpose, for nation building. The problem is we seem to forget that we all belong to this flag, to this country, and a people, a heritage that we all like to be proud of. But we are losing it because we don't care, because we're always, para sa akin yan, paano naman ako? Okay. Dr. John, your exit speech, because I'm getting really exasperated as I go along. Your message to our viewers.
Alam niyo po, mga kaibigan, mga kasama, simple lamang po eh. Naalala ko nung ako'y grade 1 eh. Sana po lahat ng tao, yung mga pag-iisip ng bawat Pilipino, balik na lang tayo sa grade 1. Kasi nung grade 1 tayo, pag nag-elect tayo ng presidente, ina-elect natin yung matalino. Pag nag-elect tayo ng secretary, magaling magsulat. Pag nag-elect tayo ng mga escort, mga gwapo. Pero nung tumanda na, anong nangyari? Nag-elect ng kung sino-sinong mga mayor na wala namang kaalam-alam. Nag-elect ng kung sino mga congressman na wala namang alam. Kung lahat siguro tayo babalik sa simpleng grade 1 na lamang, just go back to the basics and look at kung ano yung ating mga tamang gagawin. Ang problema minsan sa sobrang daming ng matalino sa ating bayan, ay nagiging bobo yata ang bawat isa sa atin. So, ang problema, ito pa. Sabi nga nila, konting kaalaman ay delikado. Little knowledge is so much dangerous. Ang problema rin naman once you think that you're so good, that's the end of you. So, wag naman nating isipin na tayo ng pagkagaling-galing. Sa punta lamang po, sabi nga ni Harris, critical thinking, critical mass, critical analysis. Ang punto lamang dapat matuto tayong umunawa kung ano ang nangyayari sa ating bayan. Ang problema po isipin natin na ang bansang Pilipino ay parte ng ating buhay at parte ng ating tahanan, na hindi lamang tayo nababuhay para sa ating mga sarili at para sa ating pamilya, at tayo nababuhay para sa ating buong bayan. Kasi sabi nga, the basic unit of the society is the family. Pag yung pamilya ay binuo po natin at napakaganda ng bawat pamilya ng bawat Pilipino, at pag sama-samahin mong bawat pamilyang yan na napakaganda, mapapaganda po natin ang ating bayang Pilipinas. So yun po lamang mga kaibigan, para po sa isang progresibo, responsable at organisadong demokrasya, mahalin po natin ang bayang Pilipinas.
Thank you very much. I like that. Let's go back to being grade 1. Thank you very much, Dr. Cho. I hope you've enjoyed our guest. I'm going to ask him to come around a lot more, if not to co-host with us. I really enjoy the repartee, and we'll interview more people as we go along to help each other find each other. Maraming salamat po. My name is Harry Tambuatco. Stay with us. There's more for you right here in GNN. Thank you very much.